My then 8-year-old son, he's 13 now, came to us with an idea and said, hey, why don't you make a bag with my face on it? Because of my analytical background, I did some research and I found that less than 2% of the character bags in the market included children of color. March 27th, 2017 is when we launched the business. And by August 2017, which was our first back to school season, we had done $250,000 in sales. We reached out to a VC, and during the process of talking with the VC, they were like, do you have any trademarks? Do you have any copyrights? And we're like, oh yeah, we have copyrights of our artwork. Yeah, no, we didn't. So we thought we did because I paid somebody or, I did it online by myself and it was absolutely wrong. But then they introduced us to Wilson Dutra. And from there, it kind of took off. So I have actually, there's more than Blended Designs. I have another business, Diversity Reads. It's that box right there. We have a subscription. I have a subscription book box with my sister. And so that is like from beginning to end. So with Blended Designs, we already had a name. We already had an established company. And they talked us through, what was the process for trademarking, why the importance of trademark, like the difference between trademark and a copyright. Because we're thinking, okay, we need to trademark every last character. And they're like, no, you don't. So really, they kind of really educate you through the process. But I think it's important, like when we started, my sister and I started Diversity Reads, we started at the very beginning. Like we went through a naming round with them. Like these are some names that we're considering. And so they looked them up and they were able to tell, okay, well, here's where you're getting into trouble with that. Here's some conflicts that you could potentially have. And those were things that we had not considered at all. They're protecting you every step of the way, but they're also protecting you from a long-term perspective. Like, I'm sitting here like, oh, we just want to do a subscription box. And they're like, okay, I understand you want to do a subscription box, but are you going to do clothing? Are you going to do this? And I'm like, okay, well, why can't we just trademark this? And then it all fall under that. And instead of like saying, well, you just can't, they really took us through understanding the different classes and understanding how trademarks operate. When we first started Blended Designs with the backpacks, we were the only ones doing it. No one else was creating backpacks with little Black kids on them. And so when we started doing it, and because of the success that we had, a lot of other people started doing it. Because, with anything, if something's good and something's profitable, people are like, oh, I want to do that too. And being able to very easily distinguish our designs from other people and making sure that no one else was using our stuff. No matter what happens with our business, like we got hit really hard with COVID, with kids not being in school, we obviously don't need backpacks. And so we're still recovering. But I know that no matter whatever happens with our business, no one can take our intellectual property from us. We still own the IP. It feels empowering. It's very empowering, but it's also, it's comforting, right? Because there's that sense of protection there. And so I feel safe. I feel like you can't take this from me. There's so many different things about them. One thing that's very important to me, especially with having a business that's about empowering Black children, it was very important to me to have a business, to have a relationship with a business that does that as well. And, I always say that Wilson and Dutra, they were allies before it was cool. Before 2020, they were always advocates and voicing how they felt about equity and equality. So those kind of things were important to me as someone that is often marginalized with a business that is to remove some of that marginalization. So it just, that's why I stay with them, in addition to them being absolutely amazing and protecting. Not to take anything away from them, but I could find another amazing attorney, right? Like I can find another amazing attorney that understands IP and understands how it works, but I don't know that I would have the same kind of relationship and confidence that they're going to operate in my best interest and in the best interest of Blended Designs as a whole. So that's really important to me. think it's important to start with an IP attorney before you select a name. Before you lock down the name of your business, start with the IP attorney to make sure that is a name that can be protected, because there's really kind of no way you would know. And I know I can search, I think it's called Tess or something like that. I can search Tess, but whenever I search, I don't find all of the stuff that Wilson Dutra finds. And I think that going to an IP attorney where they give you those checklists and they're making sure that you have all of these pieces, like this is all you want, that is the first step after you come up with your idea for your business.